Hello everyone, Seraphin here, and welcome back for more Castlevania, Aria of Sorrow. When I last left you guys, we were just making it onto the top floor of the castle, which is the last area of the castle we have yet to explore. And there's a lot of really powerful and annoying things in this level, or this area I should say. So we'll be getting to experience all of that fun stuff right now. So this is going to be coming out on New Year's Eve, if I'm not mistaken. And I wanted to give everybody a little bit of an update, I guess, while I'm doing this about the, I guess, pre-Christmas update that I left on the channel not too long ago. The circumstances behind said update were a little bit last minute. I had some very unexpected and rather unfortunate events occur just before Christmas. My intention was to have uploads for you guys during last week. However, due to previously mentioned unforeseen circumstances, I was unable to have them ready to go, and I didn't think it would be fair to you guys to, you know, either have a partial week or just have no uploads at all without some sort of explanation, so that's why I threw that together. So, apologies again if you were really hoping to have more stuff to watch last week while you were probably off from work and school and all that fun stuff, but due to events that I will not get into for personal reasons, I was unable to do so. So, apologies again for that. I know I already covered that in the video, but that having been said, the events that occurred that prevented me from doing my normal routine they have not been totally alleviated, but they've been made far more manageable as of this point. So, the normal upload schedule should be able to resume uninterrupted from here on out, barring any other unfortunate occurrences, but I guess we'll have to wait and see how that goes. At any rate, we're back, and we're doing some more Castlevania, and we're probably going to be done with it pretty soon, to be honest. We're already on the last area of the game, so... that being said, Gungnir. This is another mistranslation, but that's only slightly off. Gungnir is the spear wielded by Odin, and it is said to never miss when it is thrown, so... it is infused with lightning, however, again, our sword is just too broken to not use. I shouldn't say broken, it's not really that, it's like completely overpowered, it's not. But it certainly makes quick work of just about everything in this dungeon. You saw a second ago while I was fighting, we encountered the final guard for the first time. Those guys are a pain because they resist everything. They have no weakness, and they resist everything, including conventional weapons. They resist every element. Light, dark, fire, lightning, cold, everything. They resist all of it. So they're very difficult and very hardy targets. So you kind of really just have to wail on them until they go down. And you'll see here we have these succubus disguising themselves as Mina in an effort to get us to prevent us from attacking them. But given that I'm not stupid, we can see right through that. Here we have more Rubicons. Again, I don't know why there's a lot, it seems like there's a lot of mistranslations on a lot of the things in this particular area of the castle. I don't know why that is. A lot of the late game stuff is where you find a lot of the mistranslations, or just, you know, misspellings, I guess, for lack of a better. It's not that they're like poorly translated, it's just that a lot of them were just misspelled. I imagine it's because maybe the localization team didn't quite know what the things were that they were translating, which is certainly very possible. I mean, I wouldn't hold it against anybody to not know every last little thing about all the mythological references that they're making in this game. Not everybody is as big of a nerd for that kind of stuff as I am, and certainly a lot of other people that play these games are, which is a shame. I think if you're gonna do a project like this, you should probably know a little bit about it, but maybe that's just me, my opinion. That being said, I'm a big nerd for this stuff, and so when I see mistranslations and incorrect spellings, and it does irk me a little bit, but I'll admit that it's probably something that I probably shouldn't get too worked up about. People just make honest mistakes. I'm certainly one of those people. I've never developed a game before, nor have I localized one, because, well, I don't speak any other languages, quite frankly. But, whoa. I don't know if we've seen a basilisk just yet. That's what I'm fighting right now, is the cockatrice-looking thing. Here's another final guard. I believe he's guarding an item of some description. You'll see, even with my lightning doll that is good against most other armor-wearing enemies, he is simply not taking anywhere near as much as the other guys would have been. Yeah, these guys are probably the most annoying enemies in the game if I'm not being too harsh. But the fact that they're so hardy and they have no weaknesses and they're a little difficult to deal with if you're not prepared for them. Oh, hey, a level up, sweet. It is nice, though, because I'm going to be getting a lot of level ups probably in the next few little bits here. This just goes right into the last room I was already in, so we don't actually have to go this way. That's alright. I'll take the experience. They do drop a very nice piece of kit if they just happen to drop it, I guess. Which, as you can see, they haven't yet. I'm hoping there's a save room up above me because I'm looking a little worse for wear at the moment, and I could really use some health what did I just say? Restoration. That's what I meant to say. This is I believe I've mentioned already that the boss is at the end of this particular area. And I don't know if I've discussed the final boss all that much, mostly because I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys have already figured out who it is. If you have not, you'll very quickly see who it is. That being said, this final boss fight is very underwhelming. Only because... This might just be because I found a really easy way to kind of cheese it a little bit. Not cheese it, but there is the boss has a pattern, a very distinct pattern, and I figured it out. And I'm just going to pop a potion because I don't want to risk getting murdered in here. Actually, I could just jump right up here and hope that I run into a save room. Why don't I just use a little tiny potion just to get me going here, in case I get killed by something. Oh, see, like that, when a random bale drops in on me like this. Yeah, alright, get out of my way. At any rate, so the final boss is a little underwhelming, only because I found a really very clear and obvious pattern to him. And he's not really all that challenging. And it's not just because I have this sword, by the way. He could be just as easily done without this sword. Although he is considerably easier with a swinging weapon of this type. The one that goes from up, or the swings in an arc up down, as opposed to a stabbing weapon. Something like a lot of the other swords we've had access to that I just haven't used a whole lot of. Really need a save room. I'm just going to go back up here and hope that there's one. I'm pretty sure there is one up here. In fact, I think it's right here. Oh, maybe not. This is another one of these wrecking balls. We saw this in the arena. If I just swing this back and forth... This actually goes to the clock tower, if I'm not mistaken, which I do not want to go back to, and I hopefully don't have to go back to at any point. There we go. Yep, we're not going that way. The save room should be right up here. So why don't I go grab that real quick so I can avoid a horrible and painful death. Here it is. Perfect. I probably am not going to get to the final boss this chapter, but it'll... having... I know I've mentioned a few times during the course of this particular playthrough that I was not keen on the idea of going through and farming all of the souls that I don't already have and doing a 100% souls run, but now that I've given some more thought to it and had some time to think about it, I think I might do it. Just for posterity's sake. I am a completionist, if nothing else, and having all the souls is very beneficial, and in fact, there is a neat little Easter egg you get if you manage to collect all 100% souls, so if for no other reason than that, to show you that little extra thing that you get for doing it. And then, for those of you who think that would be just too tedious to watch, I will preface it ahead of time so you know you can just kind of skip those episodes, and then we'll skip right to the boss fight if you want to. It's not like I'm doing it because I feel like I need to pad out this playthrough. There's been plenty long enough, certainly. It's already longer. It's already going to be longer rather than my Metroid Fusion playthrough, which wasn't too long either. But I figured I'd just throw in some extra content for those of you who want to see more of this, and maybe who are interested in playing this and want to know how to collect all 100% souls, or at least find the best ways to do it. I've done it a few times, so I know where a lot of the best farming spots are. Some enemies have a couple little tricks to them that make them easier to get. And here's another sword here. We have the Kaladbalg. This is another sword that I'm not familiar with in terms of its mythological origins. However, it is the Sword of Darkness. The sword of the same name actually exists in Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn. It's spelled with a C instead of a K, however, but it's ultimately the same exact name. So another soul that I'm not familiar with the origins of If anybody does know, I would be very interested to know. I know at least one person who's been commenting on my videos has been looking things up for me. Not that I'm incapable of using Google or anything, I just, I'm not able to really readily use it while I'm recording these, so. That being said, I am very interested in that kind of stuff, so if you have some knowledge that I do not have, please feel free to pass that along. I'm not going to be upset about it at all. Man, these guys keep hitting me with that beam. You'd think I'd be better at dodging that by now. The problem is there's a slight delay on it. It doesn't immediately petrify you when it hits you. It takes like a second for it to recognize that, hey, I've been hit by this petrification beam. I should be stunned now. And there is a little downstairs area here. Now this is an enemy that we can't actually kill. You'll notice that I'm only doing 1 damage to it no matter what. That's the Iron Golem. And it has 999 HP. I'm sorry, 9,999 HP. So standing here and trying to kill it 1 HP at a time is just not I mean, I guess it is possible, but it's not worth it. Here we get the last ability soul in the game. This is the Hippogriff. This lets me do a really, really high jump just by pressing L while I'm in lid jump. Just notice that. It's supposed to say mid jump. So if I jump and then press L, rather than having to waste mana using the giant bat soul, I can just fly up into the air. There is only one real way to defeat that Iron Golem. See, he shakes the screen when he walks too. I never noticed that. That's what the Killer Mantle soul is for. Is for killing him, primarily speaking. The Killer Mantle soul, I know I was hunting for it for a little bit while we were in the arena, but what that soul does is it swaps the HP and MP of enemies when they're hit by it. So the Iron Golem has 9,999 HP and 0 MP. So when you swap the two, it just instantly dies. And that's the best way to kill it. I believe there might be other ways to do so, but that is by far the most efficient method, I believe. At least that's what I've always done. Every guide that I've ever looked at for this game. In fact, you don't even have to do mid-jump, by the way. You can just hit L on the ground. Oh, I guess if you hit L on the ground, you're doing this instead. So you do have to be in mid-jump to execute the Hippogriff here. You can just bash my head on whatever I'm jumping into, which looks like it probably hurts. But Soma's tough, I guess. We'll just go right back right here. I think that's pretty much the entire area except for a couple spots up here. You'll notice there's also a couple of spots on the map that I haven't explored yet, and we can go back and get all of those. This over here is another room with more potions in it, because I guess they feel like I'm going to need a lot of potions, and they're probably right. You'll see this guy lets us through, which is awfully nice of him. There's one more thing up here, I believe. Nope, maybe it's only on hard mode, I think. There's another ring up here. I think it's actually called Satan's Ring, believe it or not. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of horrifying. Here's the final boss room. We are actually not ready for that just yet. Well, I mean, we could go do it now, but I don't want to. So I might as well show this to you guys right now, just because I think it's beneficial. So you'll remember once upon a time we were collecting these ancient books, and we have 3 of them, and there are only 3 of them. And you will notice that one of them is colored red, one is colored blue, and one is colored yellow. And they have descriptions of 3 spirits. And what this is indicating to you is which 3 souls to equip when you go into the final boss if you want to unlock the true ending. Because this game, I believe, has 3 different endings. It might actually have 4. But the best ending, in order to get the best ending, you are required to use these 3 souls while defeating the final boss. So the first one is a demon from Hellfires. Second one is the spirit of the King of Bats, and the third one is a beautiful nightmare. And the reason they're color-coded is because, well, the bullet souls are red, the guardian souls are blue, and the passive souls are yellow. So the spirit from Hell's Fires is the flame demon. That's the one it wants you to equip. The King of Bats is the giant bat, which we already have equipped. And then finally, the yellow one I don't actually have, but it is the succubus, the beautiful nightmare. So in order to get the true ending, I will have to go grab the succubus soul at the very least. And you need to have all 3 of those souls equipped during the entire boss fight that's right in here. And so with that being said, we are going to go grab the succubus soul, I believe, because I would like to have it very much. Not only is it needed for that final, or for the true ending, but It is a very useful soul entirely anyway. In fact, I'll show you when we get to it. So, I don't know how the game would expect you... Like, I mean, it is a bit of it's enough of a hint that because I know about it already, I could kind of reverse engineer it, but imagine if you were playing this game for the first time and you didn't know any of that stuff. You could maybe decipher the idea that those 3 books are 3 different souls that you need to equip, and you could probably decipher that, hey, you know, they correspond to the red, blue, and yellow souls that I could equip, and I should have all 3 of them on at once, but it doesn't tell you when to use them. And I don't know that me going into this game with no information would be able to figure out that you need to have them equipped for the final boss fight. I honestly don't know that I would know that, or be able to figure that out with no information. Here's a succubus right here, conveniently enough, and they die in a couple of hits. There are more of them, so we'll have no shortage of them. This is not the best place to farm them, certainly, but it is a place to farm them. I would very much like you to drop your soul, milady. Shouldn't say milady, they're demons, they don't give a crap, but... at any rate, here's another good place to farm one, but we are going to get into the succubus soul farming in the next episode. So until that time, thank you all very much for watching me. I apologize for that break we took, but again, we're right back on normal schedule, so stay tuned this week for more. There will be more, I promise, and as I said, we are... Once I get the succubus soul and have everything ready for the final, we're going to do a couple chapters, and by a couple chapters I of course mean a few episodes of soul hunting. It's probably going to end up being more than a couple. It's probably going to be a couple weeks worth. So if you're not interested in seeing any of that, feel free to just take a break from this particular playthrough for a little while. Again, I will preface it in the video beforehand if it's going to be a soul farming episode. If you're interested, feel free to watch. If not, feel free to skip. It's entirely up to you. So until next time, thank you all very much for watching. As I said, I will see you in the next episode. Until that time, this has been Seraphin. Stay classy, internets.